Hey, good Sunday evening. So glad you can join me. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I know a lot of folks are enjoying the game. And so all I can say is go team, whichever team you're rooting for. I'll be real honest with you. The pro side is not one that we really follow at my household, and so I really, to be honest with you, didn't know this was Super Bowl Sunday until. Uh, well, it was this morning, but, I didn't find out till today, so oh, the things we do, right? The things we are involved in and the things we sometimes just let fall to the wayside. So what's on my crafting table? Well, this week, if you were watching last weekend, I did a Valentine's giveaway, and we want to say congratulations one more time to our Valentine giveaway winner, Miss Marie Cagle. She got the Valentine heart wreath door hanger and also a Valentine's vase, as well as some decor stones. Now, if you watched my pre giveaway video, that was the video that promoted the giveaway last Saturday, then you saw or heard me talk about that giveaway being a little preview or a little peek into a new box idea that I am working on. So um, that is going to be the box, and I'll talk about that a little more later on in the video. So that was a sneak peek. It was a door hanger and a couple of decor items. So we'll talk about that a little more. Well, I've been getting in the spring mood. Now, yesterday, of course, was rainy and it was cold. And I didn't get much accomplished as far as cutting door hangers go. Did get a couple of door hangers sealed, even though that was a little bit of a challenge due to the cooler temps and, of course, the rain in the air. But hey, we got it done. But today has been just unbelievable, sunshiny and springtime feeling. And the last week or two, I've noticed a lot more birds around. I've been hearing a lot more chirping and bird song, and so I'm like, ooh, we're getting really close. Noticed a few little sprigs of green here and there on bushes that are just now just little tips of leaves poking out. So I've noticed that. So that's kind of my inspiration for tonight's door hanger that we're going to be painting. And this is not a full size door hanger. This is actually a smaller door hanger. This could be used indoors, could be on a child's door, or even maybe the door to a sunroom, or maybe if you like to decorate your laundry room or pantry door with seasonal items, this could be used there as well. Or if you have like a ladder that holds quilts or other items, you could use this on that as well. It'd be a little seasonal item. So I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But first, what I want to show you is the sneak peek for our February paint party box. Yes. Had to be careful because I was just talking about a box idea and I was like, okay, make sure you say the right name. So this is the sneak peek for the paint party box. Okay, so here we go. That is the sneak peek for the February paint party box. So the reveal is coming soon. I'm not going to give you a date yet, but the reveal is coming soon. But that's the sneak peek. I'll let you look at that for just a second. All right, now that'll be showing up some on my pages this week, so you can look at it a little more. All right, let's get a look at what we're doing tonight. So I was talking about spring kind of feeling in the air, and so I went with a spring theme tonight. So here's a cute little ladybug, and she is on a heart, yes. And yes, you could do this pink or red for Valentine's Day, but I'm not doing this one pink or red. So here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be green, like leaf. So it's a heart-shaped leaf. And then, of course, our ladybug will be the traditional ladybug colors. All right, let's see. Any more housekeeping I need to do before we jump into this? Remember, our e-newsletter goes out on Sunday nights after we get through with the live. It's usually around 8:15, 8:30, somewhere in there when I send it out. So if you would like to be on our e-newsletter list, there's actually a link in the description. So if you go back up above to the description, or if you're in the big screen part, it may actually be off to the side, that side, I think. So it'll be in the description where you can click the link in order to sign up for the e-newsletter that I send out on Sunday evenings. All right, well, I am going to get started here. And what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do mostly simple colors on this one. We've got green for the leaf. We've got black for, of course, the head and the spots. And then, of course, the body will be red. And then we'll do a little highlighting, little shading, and things of that nature. So let us get started. So I'm going to start with the green. We're going to go with that first and get our green done. And I am going to that is my biggest brush. I thought for a minute, maybe I have a bigger brush, but no, this is the biggest brush. All right, so we're going to start with green. Get our green going. And we're just going to paint our leaf green. Now, this that I have here, the lines that you see, they are actually trace lines that have been highlighted with marker. And so if I paint over them, it's okay. It's not my final lines. I will go over the lines again once I am finished with a paint pen, or sometimes, not all the time, sometimes I actually go over them with black or white paint, either way. Just depends on the look that I am going for. I mentioned the newsletter. Also want to just mention that we are on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram under quiltedtreasures.more. And we're also on YouTube. So every week, the videos that I do here on the live, I upload to YouTube after we're through, sometime before I go to bed on Sunday night. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's later. It just depends on what I have to do once I get off of the live. All right, so we're painting our leaf here, getting our first coat of green on our leaf. You know, before I go too far, let me check one thing real quick. Okay. Hi, Miss Susan. I'm so glad you're with me this evening. Working on a happy little ladybug here. Our little ladybug is happy because spring is coming. I know I'm happy because spring is coming. I was not a fan of the rainy, cold weather yesterday, but today was very nice. Had to go out and cut a couple of things out this afternoon, and it was very nice. Sun was shining, it was nice and warm. All right, so we're just working around and getting our little ladybug, the leaf of our little ladybug is sitting on, working on getting it covered. And it looks like this is drying pretty quick, so I will probably just go ahead and do that second coat real quick and get that on there. So that way we can move right along to the next part, which will be the red. We're going to go ahead and do the red that we need for our ladybug. If you noticed, I did get over the line a little bit right there, but that's okay. The head is going to be black, so I'm not overly concerned with getting green over on the head. Working on the second coat. And we're going to do a little bit of shading here on the leaf and just kind of make it brighter. And we're going to work on that in just a minute. Actually, I may try to do that. You know what? We're going to do that before this dries good. So I am going to grab an angled brush. Got an angled brush here. You can see how the bristles are an angle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of white, put it next door to my green, and get a little more of my green. And while this is still wet, what I'm going to do, I'm going to dip in a little bit of green, and I'm going to dip just the tip part of my brush in white. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this around a little, and I'm just going to start kind of mixing and shading. Give it just a little bit of a lighter color in a few places. Not the whole thing, but just in a few places. That way, because I mean, no leaf is perfect, right? When you see a leaf out in nature, it's not going to be perfectly green. It has some imperfections. I'll get a little more green on that. I'm just going to mix it in a little better because I don't want it to be white. I don't want the white to stand out like it's a separate color. I just want it to blend and just be a little bit lighter on the leaf. All right, now I'm going to pick back up with my big brush and work a little more on, I'll go back over just a little bit of that because I didn't get up close over here. So like I've mentioned before, while I'm painting, sometimes I forget to look up and see comments. So if I miss your comment, I will go back. If I don't scroll back through during the live, I will comment once the live is over with. I try to go back and forth and read the comments. But sometimes you get caught up in what you're doing and you forget. I know none of y'all have ever done that, right? All right, so I'm going to take my brush one more time with the blending, and I'm just going to blend a little bit more here because I feel like that's just, it's lighter, but it needs to be, I don't know, to me it needs just a little more green. Like I said, I don't want it to stand out like I painted it a totally different color. I just want to be a variation on the leaf. So, and I can see where I missed a spot there. So we're going to catch him real quick. And then I'm going to come down here to the bottom, or maybe here off to the side. Let's see. Maybe here to the side. Yeah. We're going to come here to the side, and I'm just going to mix in a little lighter color there. And I'm just going to bring it across. Yes, I did go across my little antlers there, but that's okay because remember, I'm going to go back over that with paint, with my paint pen or with my paintbrush, one of the two. So I've kind of made this look like it has veins in this leaf. So there's a little vein here and a couple of little veins there. And I can always bring, I'll try to do less on this side. I don't want it to be quite as bold of a white. Put in a little highlight there. And maybe a little, nope, I'm gonna need a little more. A little highlight there. All right. And I'm having to look at the screen so that I can see what it looks like because the way the light's hitting it, in order to get a good shot, a lot of times I can't tell. I get a reflection on my door hanger and I have trouble seeing what the actual shading looks like. So you'll see me look up from time to time at the camera just to see what the shading looks like and the blending looks like if that's what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to put him into soak. And let's see, do I need to do any touch up real quick? I think I've got all the green covered, and we're going to move on to the red. Just double checking a little bit here. You could actually use more than one green on this leaf. Matter of fact, I do have another green, and just before I end, I'm probably going to take it and do some around the edge, but we're not going to do that right now. Okay, red. Let's get to our red. Get our little ladybug coming to life here. All right, so for this, I'm just going to use a flat tip brush. And we're just going to come in here and start getting our ladybug coated. I showed for a few seconds there the sneak peek of the February paint party box. I'll be adding that sneak peek to the pages tomorrow, the group page and the main Facebook page. So that'll happen tomorrow. In the description, you will find a couple of links. One link is to sign up for our weekly newsletter. If you would like to get the inside scoop, a little behind the scenes info, more information about things going on at Quilted Treasures and More, you can click that link, add your email to our newsletter list. Also is the link to our online paint party for this month. That's coming up Friday, February 19th. And I will have to close the sign up for that pretty soon, so that way I'll have plenty of time to get blanks cut. All right, so our red dried pretty quick, so I'm just going to jump right in here and put in another coat of the red. And again, since the spots are going to be black, since I'm painting the spots a darker color, I'm not terribly worried about getting the paint on top of my black lines because it will be covered up, or even crossing the lines as I've done on a couple of them. All right, so there is our cute ladybug body. She's coming along very nicely. All right, so next we're going to move to the head and the spots and get that done. Of course, we'll need black for that. So what I'm going to do is dry my brush off, and I'm just going to use the same brush. You know what? I take that back. I'm not going to use the same brush. A filbert tip brush would probably work much nicer for this. And this is the filbert tip brush. It is just round on the end instead of flat on the end. All right, so let's get started on our spots. These brushes are nice when you have curves because sometimes with a flat tip brush you fight a little bit in the curves. And so I really like these brushes when it comes to working with curves or sometimes even tight areas. An angled brush is also pretty good when working with tight areas. But I really do like the filbert tip brushes when it comes to circles and anything that has a curve to it. Got a little too much paint in that one. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to lightly go back over it and pull some of that paint out and put it in another dot here on our ladybug. Now black I normally don't do two coats on unless I'm just really having a bad day and it does not spread out too evenly, or if I just wasn't paying attention and didn't get a good enough amount on my brush. So most of the time, one coat of black, and that's it. All right, also the legs for our little ladybug are black. Another reason why I like paint pens is because when I'm going back and doing a bit of a cleanup, especially on circles, polka dots, paint pens come in really handy for making sure that I got all the way around my my detail or my design. Okay, so next we're going to do the head, and I'm just going to check my picture real quick. Yep. And then we will start on, actually, I could have done that first. The eyes and the mouth are actually white, and I could have done those first, but I went ahead and started with the leaf because I like the little leaf. I wanted to get the detailing done on that little leaf. All right, so now we're going to start on the head and get the head done. And then we can move on to some details like what I talked about earlier about the leaf, wanting to do a little bit of variation around the edge. Just a little bit. I did some, I guess I'm going to call them veins with the white and the green. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some, it's a variation of green. It's actually called Hauser Light Green. And I'm going to take some of the regular green. And this is just a primary color green. Let's see. It's called Festive Green. I call it primary green. It's funny how they call some colors primary and some of them are considered, like the green, festive. So I guess it's the green that you would use for holiday colors, like Christmas green. Also would work well with St. Patrick's Day, which is not far from coming up. It's so funny because when you're doing things like arts and crafts, and you're almost constantly working ahead, because I've done quite a few things with, um, not with, but for Valentine's Day. I keep having to remind myself that Valentine's Day has not happened yet. Now, I know you're thinking, you are covering up the mouth. How are you going to find the mouth? Well, if you notice, there's a little bit of a gap here that is where I guess the mouth is open right there. And so that's how I'm going to locate the lines of the mouth. I've got a pretty good idea of where it's supposed to be, so it doesn't have to be exact. The lines are there for your guide. So if you change his mouth up a little bit, then you've simply made him unique for your piece. And I could have started with the mouth because it would have been white, and I could have done that first. Only thing is, by doing that first, I probably would have had to do it again because I would have hit it with the black and covered it up. So, six of one, half a dozen of the other. I guess it depends on how you look at it. All right, I'm going to take some Hauser green, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over here, probably beside the white. And I'm going to get my angled brush again. Rinse him out pretty good. I'm going to get him again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip him in a little bit of my green, my regular green, and a little bit of the Hauser. And I'm just going to come around the edge. So the edge, and this one I'm not going to blend in as much. I'm going to leave it to where it kind of stands out a little bit. Just so the edge of our leaf has just a little bit of variation to it. Now, if you do like I just did, and I just absolutely went over where I had just painted, then what you do is simply dip the tip back in. Let me get over here where you can see. Back in, just the tip, because remember, this is our angled brush. And then just go back. If you just kind of hold the brush at an angle, so I'm not doing straight, I've got it turned a little bit. And I'm just going around the outline or the outside of my leaf. And just giving just a little variation. It's kind of hard to see, um, with the camera angle the way it is, but I'll pick it up at the end and I'll show you. It's just a slight variation. I don't want it to be a whole lot because I don't want to make my leaf look really different. I just want to give him a little bit of color, varying color. Because as you're watching the leaves come in and even in the fall when they die away, they're not all, no one leaf has the same exact shade all the way around. It varies. And so I'm just going around the edge and just giving just a little bit of variation around the edge of my leaf. This feels weird because I'm going backwards. I don't normally go that way, so let's turn around and go this way. That felt really strange. I'm used to coming toward me with my brush, and I had started trying to push the brush and the paint away from me, which felt kind of weird. All right, so my leaf has just a little bit of variation around the edge. All right, now I am going to get the white. I got a little bit of white in there, but I'm going to get a little more white because we've got to do the eyes and we've got to do the mouth. And I'm going to need a smaller brush for this, but I'm still going to use a filbert tip because I've got the circles that I'm going to be doing. And of course with white, I always put on 2 coats just because I know I feel better. It's one of those, I sleep better at night kind of things. I feel better if I've got 2 coats on the paint. I just know that it's covered well. The black I don't always do because the black just seems to cover the board really well, and so I don't worry about it so much. And I do have to come back and I could do the middle black, the middle of the eye black, which is what the sketch had when I got the sketch for this particular template. Or I could come back and make her eyes a pretty color. pick a blue or a greenish color. All right, now I'm going to do her mouth, the inside part of her mouth. Might should have gotten just a size smaller on this filbert tip. Reason being is because there's a lot of bristles to this one. Some of the shorter ones, the bristles are a little shorter. Some of the shorter ones. Some of the smaller numbered ones, the bristles are a little shorter, and it gives you just a little more control. This one I've already kind of made the mouth a little wonky. All right, I'm going to go over this one more time just to make sure that my white is nice and smooth. And I'm going to pick a color for the eyes. I think I'm going to go with a blue color, just because I want a little more color on my ladybug. She was pretty simple because she's basically three colors. If you just wanted to paint straight colors, green for the leaf, red for the body, black, and then of course white for the mouth and the eyes. So it would be fairly simple that way. Now I've added some shading and some highlighting, and so that's made it just a little bit different. Okay, what color blue do I want to use for her eyes? I can do a peacock, or I can do a turquoise blue. I don't think I want the turquoise blue. Peacock or Laguna. Oh, let's do Laguna. I've not used the Laguna that much. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to dip right out of the top. Okay, I'm going to get me an itty bitty brush, and I'm just going to dip right out of the top and just give her some blue eyes to give her just a little bit of color. Not that she doesn't have any color. She's got red and she's got black and she's got green, but I like just a little bit of color. And I think that's going to dry fairly fast, so I'm just going to go ahead and add one more coat. Give that one just a couple of seconds. And I'm going to add a little more to this eye. All right, and while that is drying, whoa, wow. Not going to say anything else, just wow. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Okay. Now I'm going to find my paint pens, and we're going to do a little bit of work with the paint pens here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shake them both up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and outline the main body of the ladybug. These paint pens, I know I've mentioned before, you can get them at Joann's. You can find them at Michael's. You can order them on Amazon, and there's a lot of different paint pens on the market. I've had success with these, so I, you know, why why change a good thing? So I stick with them. And I'm just going around the polka dots. This helps to clean up the edges. Also helps me to, as long as I don't miss my circle too bad, I can straighten up circles. Oh, I got the one in the middle I need to do. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing here, there's a little bit of where I didn't get the black quite smooth enough around the edge, so I'm simply filling in with my paint pen. That's another nice thing about the paint pen is that you can fill in some and you don't have to go back and get the brush and the paint. Okay, now I'm going to go around the eyes and just make sure my eyes look nice and smooth around the edge. You know what? I'm going to get my smaller one to do the eyes. I'm going to wait just a minute and then I'll do the eyes. The blue part of the eyes. I'll go around the head part. And I've got just a little bit there. I'm starting to get low on paint in this paint pen. I can always tell because I end up having to work with it a good bit while I'm using it. So I have got to order some more paint pens. All right, so I'm going to come around the head here and finish up. Just kind of make sure it's smooth. Ah, I'll keep going. I'm going to forget. our little antennae here. I think I called them antlers a while ago. And all my science friends cringed and went, she did not call them antlers. It's called a moment of lapse in brain function. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, I have a smaller black paint pen here, and I'm going to use it to go around the eyeballs. Well, not the eyeballs, but the colored part of the eyeball. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to move to the white paint pen, which, there it is. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to work on the mouth, because if you remember, we had the mouth that had, I'm going to go ahead and outline this part and get it straight. Okay, now we had just a little bit here, and I pulled up my picture so that way I could see, and then it came up just a little, and we had the curve to it. Now, because this is a paint pen and I put it right next to paint, might take a time or two to go over in order to get the layers to match. And what I mean by layers is I put 2 coats of white into the mouth part, and so I had to go over that a couple of times. Okay, so now I'm going to do just a little bit of highlighting, and what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do anything really bold. I'm just going to lightly, see if I can do this and do this right. Lightly go and just let my pen kind of squiggle along. I'm not gonna force it to be like a solid line. So we're just gonna do little, I'm not gonna do all the way, I'm not gonna do all the way across down here. And then I'm gonna do the same in the head. Only with the head, I'm only gonna work halfway there, and then I'm gonna come over here, and I'm just gonna come down, and I'm almost letting it almost kind of bounce as it goes along. And so that way it's not actually connecting and making a solid line. It's almost bouncing onto the door hanger. I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. I'm going to start here and just kind of let it bounce a little bit and come up and just make a little squiggly mark there. And I'm going to do the same over here. Just kind of let it bounce a little and then a little squiggly mark there. And then one more. And just let it come around a little there. All right, now, last but not least, I'm going to go back to the black for this. And I'm debating on whether to use this one or go for the really big one. I think I'm going to see what we do with this one, because I did do some highlighting and I don't want to cover up all my highlighting. So I'm just going to do little, hold on. I had to prime it, and that's what I'm doing. I just primed it on my egg carton there. And what that does is that gets the paint flowing one more time where it's supposed to. So I'm just going to put a line there, a little accent line there, and then I'm going to do one, I'm going to start kind of odd shaped here, and then I'm going to come to the edge and come around. If you notice, I didn't go all the way to the edge of my board. I did some highlighting marks or some variation in the color there. I don't really want to cover that up, so I'm just kind of going just a little bit in, so that way my variation of color is still showing, because I don't want to cover that up. So I'm just going to come in here a little ways to there, and then I'm going to come down here. Now, I've already got the white here, but I am going to come up underneath my white. And I'm going to come around. This one I am going to bring all the way up, if my pen will let me. Going to come all the way up to here. So I'm going to start and bring it back to me rather than pushing my pen away from me. And I'm just going to go back over that a little bit. Just to make it stand out a little more. All right. Well, that is our little ladybug. I'm going to move my, you can't see it, but I've got my my drawing on the screen there, so I'm going to move my drawing and let you see. I'm going to pick this up and bring it close so you can see around the edge how there's a little bit lighter shade of green there, and it's just on the other side of that black line. So you've got your white mixed in a little bit just to make it a little bit lighter shade for like some veins. You can see a faint shadow of the veins. And then right here on the edge is where I put just a little bit of a lighter color green just to give my little ladybug, or the leaf that she's sitting on, just a little bit different shade of color. All right, so that's our ladybug, our first taste of spring. And I may go back and add some little highlights on the black polka dots. If I do, it'll just be little squiggly highlights, like little sun glints or glistens off of it. However you say that word. All right, so in the description, you have the link to sign up for the newsletter. You also have a link for our online paint party. That's coming up Friday, February 19th at 6:30 p.m. And nope, that's the sneak peek. Wrong one. Okay, what happened? There it is. I kept hitting the wrong button. There's too many buttons. This is what we're going to be painting. It is a round door hanger, and it has Home Sweet Home on it. And then, of course, you see the pretty little blue flowers there. So this one could actually stay up through spring and also into the summer. So that is what we're painting for our online paint party. And you can click the link and get signed up for that. Get on the list. I will contact you with more information. How does an online paint party work? Well, what happens is I will send you a link to the room where we will be having our paint party at the designated time, Friday, February 19th, 6:30 p.m. You'll join in to that room and we will sit, and it'll kind of be like this where I'm on camera, I'm painting, and most of the time, unless you don't want to, you can be on camera where the others who are in the paint party can see you and talk with you. And then I've done some where I've been in part of paint parties myself where um, may not want to be on video, and that's perfectly fine. You leave the audio on, and then you can talk to everybody. And of course, I'm the biggest one on the screen because I'm the one, doing the hosting part of it. And so it's kind of like this where you're watching me paint, but you do get to see who else is attending. and chit chat, talk about things, talk about painting, talk about the weather, get to know other people, and talk to somebody besides the four walls of your house. Or maybe more than just the people in your house. So that is the online paint party door hanger that we will be doing, and there is a link in the description that you can click for that. One more time, here is the sneak peek, and this is for the February paint party box, which I don't have a reveal um, date at this time, but one will be coming up. So there's those two things to think about, and you can click on the link, sign up for the online paint party, sign up for the newsletter. Sneak peek, of course, is what you're looking at now, and that will be coming up really soon, the reveal. And then once the reveal is done, then it'll be open for you to order your paint party box for the month of February. All right, let's see. Is that everything I was supposed to do? I know what I was gonna do one more thing before we wrap this up. And I was checking the time, make sure I wasn't going too terribly late. I do have a time frame that I try to stay within on these lives. But the other thing I wanted to tell you about, the giveaway that I did, I mentioned that it was a preview of a new box idea that I'm working on. Um, Now, I don't have any pictures or sneak peeks yet because I still don't have my launch date set for this box. But in this box, there will be a finished door hanger. So the paint party box is unfinished. You get to paint it. And then this other box will be a completed door hanger. So it will look just like this. It'll be ready to hang on your door when it gets to your door. And so it'll be a finished door hanger, but it will also include an item or items that you can decorate with. Now, this may be something you can add outside, or more than likely, it'll be something related to the door hanger that you can put inside, either on a coffee table or side table, bookshelf, or maybe even on your kitchen cabinet. And so it will have a painted or finished door hanger as well as a decor item. And that's the new box idea that I am working on. So that that giveaway was actually a sneak preview or a preview for a box idea that is coming. So I don't have a launch date yet, but it is coming. Well, thank you so very much for joining me for what's on my crafting table, and I will, of course, be back next Sunday, 6:30 p.m. But I hope you have a great evening and have a great week.